Okay, peeps, today we're going to be talking about our buys, sells, and dividends for the week of November 12th through November 18th of 2023. Let's get it. So, as you guys know, in the previous video that we did go over our yield max dividends for basically the month of November. So, that was just strictly yield max. That doesn't include all the dividends we got paid for the week, but we'll go ahead and get into what those dates are now. So you can see basically we have the 12th through the 18th of the calendar. So pretty much what the majority of what we got paid last week from M1 was actually from Yield Max. We did have a couple others, as you guys can see here, basically like another 58 cents. So we'll go ahead and add that here. So we already have the Yield Max number up here from the previous video. So we got 331.18 is the total that we get from M1 in this particular week. And we'll go ahead and go through the Robinhood portfolio. As you guys can see, we are up a little bit in the money since the market had kind of its pullback, so that's good. It's always good to see green, right? So we got ORC here. This is 1777, November 26th. That's what we got paid. So we'll go down to Tesla here. Tesla, you guys can see that we're sitting at 29.23 for the month, so slightly more than the previous month. Again, that's because Tesla paid out, I think it was like a penny more or something per share. So, but it all adds up in the end. That's kind of the point of dividend investing. So Aptly would be the next one that we got paid from. We got paid $2.29, so it did get cut a little bit, that $4 discount, but it's still something. It's better than nothing. The $4 difference we made back anyways through Tesla. This is why, in my opinion, not financial advice, but it's a good idea to hold like a handful of the Yield Max ETFs instead of just one or two. So you can see we got paid $3.17 from Tesla back here, but we got paid $3.21 here, so that pretty much covers the Aptly gap right here. So moving on to the next one, and we're just covering the dividends piece first. We'll get into the buys and sells here in a minute. So the next one we have here is Google, or GUI. We got paid $3.12, same as last month. Move on to the next piece here, and we have AMSI. So AMSI has paid us $6.73 in the month of November, so that's definitely nice. So for that, we got paid $59.14 on Robinhood. Now if we go over to Webull, you guys can see that we got paid $2.43 from Aptly, $32.23 from OARC, and $46.48 from NVIDIA. So that would total our dividends so far for the month of November here on Webull. And that total comes out to $81.14. Now, with that being said, on the Robinhood app, we did get paid on the same day as the payment date for the Yield Max funds in November, which was November 16th. So that was on a Thursday. We were working on that day, so unfortunately we didn't have time to make this video on that day, but is what it is. So we did get paid same day on Robinhood, but on both M1 and Webull, we did actually not get paid until the 17th. So it took a day for the dividends to settle in our account. It says the 16th, but I can tell you guys right now, it was not actually the 16th. We didn't see the money pop up in our accounts until the 17th. So that covers the dividends portion. Now we're going to get into the buys and the sells. I'll just let you guys know right now, we have not sold anything this week, although we have thought about it. So if we go over here to the Fidelity portfolio that we have, which is basically just crypto, that's it. Crypto and cash, pretty much. You guys can see that even after a somewhat major pullback in LTCN was, I think, about $7.50, $7.60 a share. It's pulled back more than $1 since then. We were up about $1,500 at that point. We thought about selling for profit, but again, this is not really like a short-term play. This is like, we intend to hold this for at least a year, or as long as it takes to make at least a minimum of a 50x on LTCN and a 20x on BCHG. So with that being said, we could have sold for profit. We still could, but I don't think we're going to. What we're going to do instead is Basically, as you guys can see, we have some settled cash here. Basically, what does it mean to have settled cash? It basically means that it's, there's like a T2 settlement date or something. With some of these brokerages, when you put money in the account, they make you, even though it's technically your money, for some reason they make you wait like a day or two for it to process, and then it becomes what's considered settled. And then you can actually buy stuff with it without having a good faith violation, which can put a strike on your account, and they can do things like ban your account for 90 days or something else. I don't know. But anyways, so this is settled cash. So basically what we're looking for here, pretty much in short, is we're looking for either LTCN and or BCHG to come back down to our cost basis if that's going to happen. And we'll start buying more, either at the cost basis or below the cost basis. So that way we can get more shares for less money and we're not pushing our cost basis too high. So if it does not do that and it just keeps going up, we're going to hold until we get the minimum profit targets that we're looking for in both of these positions. Right now, we have a pretty good position on a pretty good cost basis on BCHG and LTCN. We are expecting to make at least a 50 to 60x on LTCN, and I would say probably conservatively a 15 to 20x on BCHG with our current cost bases. But again, we don't want to run this thing too high while the market's ripping to the upside, because more often than not, it's been our experience that when it feels like the FOMO starting to come in and we feel the need to want to buy as the market's ripping, that usually indicates that there might be a sharp pullback in the immediate short term, and that's typically been how it's played out for us. So we're a little cautious to buy when it's ripping to the moon. But anyways, this is our current balance. We're sitting at, I guess it would be a current value of 4,600 on LTCN with a cost basis of 4,000 and a current value of 884 on BCHG with a cost basis of 770 and a total unrealized profit of $700, which again, we're not going to take profit yet because it's such a small amount. It would almost be pointless for us to take profit. This is crypto. Things can get crazy, and we want to make sure that we're getting the most bang for our buck. So with that being said, we're going over to the actual transactions here. As you guys can see, we have not bought much in the way of LTCN in the last week because, again, it's been absolutely ripping to the moon. We'll show you that here in a minute. But you guys can see that we placed some pretty large orders back here just to basically get the skin in the game. We pretty much want to, we have like a certain profit target, a certain dollar amount and percentage amount that we're looking for here. And that's the reason why we bought here at these prices, even though you guys can see that we bought at pretty significant highs here. We pretty much bought basically right about where the price is now. But again, we do think that that LTCN could go to at least, I would say at least $300 a share, and BCHG conservatively probably at least $40 to $50 a share. So yeah, that's pretty much that. The only thing that we bought in the last week was basically just one share of LTCN at $7, just to kind of see how our cost basis would react. And at $5.50 a share, we're just not willing to buy more above and beyond that price. So with that being said, we have not bought anything on M1 Finance. We've just collected dividends. Getting into the Robinhood portfolio, the only thing that we have actually purchased basically within the last week is pretty much just Coney. We did say we wanted to get back in, so we are doing just that. So you guys can see we had a market sell here back on the 2nd. We started buying back in back on the 9th, but since this video only covers till the 12th, basically we've purchased roughly about $25 worth of Coney, so roughly about one share. But again, the prices are sitting pretty high. If for whatever reason crypto has a sharp pullback, which is possible because Bitcoin's sitting at major resistance right now, we do want to pick up prices or shares when they're a little bit cheaper. So we are actually going to show you guys something new on this channel. Once again, on Webull, we have not purchased anything yet because we're focused on crypto and dividends right now. We're not really focused so much on the swing trades, but at some point in time, it may make sense to do that. We're less down than we were before. We were down roughly about $800 more than what we are right now. So our portfolios are moving up. That's good. So with that being said, we're actually going to show you guys our native crypto portfolio. This is not our entire portfolio. Just keep in mind, this is a small portion. It's, I would say, probably somewhere around 10%. It's not really a lot compared to what we actually have. Most of our crypto positions are held in are basically offline. They're in cold storage. Um, for those of you guys that are in crypto, you'll know what we're talking about here when we say that. So you guys can see some of our positions here. They're relatively small. Again, this is I would say a tiny portion of our overall native cryptocurrencies that we have. But we have told you guys that we were purchasing Jasmy. As you guys can see here, we have done literally just that. So we're going to go here to the primary balance. You guys can see that the last time that we actually held Jasmy was basically back here in May of this year. Now, we did sell out. The reason we sold out is because we were taking like a small profit. We weren't thinking that crypto was going to rip at that time, and it did not. I mean, it was up, but it wasn't like pushing to 70,000. When I say 70,000, I mean Bitcoin. So you guys can see here that we've kind of just been slowly DCAing in over time, day over day, to accumulate the position here. So that's kind of what our transactions look like on Jasmy. I think the total amount that we currently have is, I would say, $180 or $200, something like that. So if we go over here to CoinGecko, which is, again, what most crypto investors use to kind of track the prices of cryptocurrency. We'll take a look at this real quick. So we'll go to Jasmy here. You can see it's basically half a penny, and people might be thinking like, oh, well, why would you want to buy something that's half a penny? That's like, garbage or whatever. I mean, guys, you got to understand, a lot of these cryptocurrencies get beat down 95 to 99%, as you can see here from the highs during a bear market. This is typical. And then a lot of them rip to the upside massively during the next bull market. Most people don't believe it, but this is actually the time to be buying. So not financial advice. But kind of our thinking here is if it gets basically back to this swing high here at 27 cents, we can kind of do the math on this real quick. So kind of our goal here is to have 500 bucks in this position. So we'll do 27 divided by 0.005, looking at a 54x. If we have $500 and we get a 54x, which we do think is more than possible, it could actually go up to $1 to $2. We really don't know. This is what we'd be looking at in terms of gains. And then we'll basically move that money post-tax over into our dividend portfolio or whatever we're going to do with it. So it's kind of what we're looking at. You got a market cap here of 229 million. This thing could easily do a 60x. I mean, that would put it at, well, okay, so a 10x would be 2 billion. So you're talking like maybe 12 billion. I mean, that's nothing in crypto. So we were going to go back over the price of LTCN. I believe that's what we were going to do. So we're going to take a look at that right now. And this pretty much covers our buys for this entire video, just so y'all know. So as you guys can see here, we had this peak high. We have had a higher high here. This candle close is technically considered to be a higher high because the body is higher than the previous body swing high. But we had a sharp pullback here. If it comes back to these EMAs, retests, and then takes off, we could get the LTCN position at lower than our cost basis. If not, then we'll just hold it. Similar thing with BCHG here. So BCHG, we did not actually have a higher high on this one, but if we do end up getting a higher high, well, then it could be off to the races and we could be seeing some serious price appreciation after that. But again, if it pulls back into the EMAs, we'll get in lower than our cost basis. Now, as for Bitcoin, so it did have a candle close above you can see like the body closes here on these candles. So it has closed above this zone that we have here. Whether it's going to go higher or not, we don't know. This could be a fake out and a pullback to the downside. If that's the case, then we want to look to buy some more crypto. So anyways, this is our video on our buys, sells, and dividends for the week. Just so you all know, we'll add up these dividends real quick. So we got 331.18, 59.14, and 81.14. So for the week, we have made so far $471.46, and we have basically, in terms of dividend paying stocks, we pretty much only purchased Coney. That's it. In crypto, we've bought one share of LTCN, and it's mainly just been Jasmy outside of that. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.